Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Kidder Diamond. Welcome you to the finale of the Super Bowl winners, losers, and friends tourney that we all started in September. 128 teams got to be in this tournament. At the time, all 59 Super Bowl winners and losers for 118 teams, and then we went through qualification with the non-NFL leagues, getting 2 teams from there. Um, the we had a team come from the 1930s NFL, the team from the 40s NFL champs, Cleveland, Detroit, Houston, and um, Jacksonville. Their best teams got it. Cleveland got the 1964 team, the last NFL team to win. Detroit, 1957, the last time they won an NFL title. Jacksonville, the 1999 squad that won the championship. That won would have won the AFC title if they stayed, if they won from the 1 seed, but they lost to Mr. Tennessee, who gave them all 3 losses in that season. And Houston, the 2019 team that, well, the Houston Texans. I almost went Houston Oilers. I could have, but I didn't. So anyway, there and then 2 teams from the AFL that were not involved in the Super Bowl. So that's how we matched up everybody, right? Yep. So we started well, we have the 1933 Bears and the 1989 49ers. The 33 Bears, the best team from the 30s in the NFL tournament, and the 89 Niners, who won Super Bowl 24 by a score of 55-10. So week 1, pull up all the stats and all that. Like, we're just going to go through week 1 and tell you we started everything on September the 7th. The 33 Bears played the first week against the 2011 Giants, the team that won Super Bowl 46 closely against the Pats, winning by a score of 37-6. The Bears have a quarterback by committee thing. Nagurski, 94 yards and a touchdown. Eli, 14 for 28, 194, but he threw not 1, not 2, but 5 picks, which 2 of them, Molesworth and Nagurski, ran back. So 2 pick sixes, outscoring the Giants offensively. Look at the recap. Bronco Nagurski was named player of the game for his rushing touchdown and pick 6. Corbett and John Souls actually didn't play for the Bears. Well, John Souls is a good tight end. They didn't need them. The 89 Niners, in the meantime, started life as we scroll through everything. I'm not going to go through every game because that's going to take like 50 minutes. They played the 2001 Pats, the team that won Super Bowl in 2002 with a fresh-faced Tom Brady doing it, winning the game in New England by a score of 23-18. Tom Brady went 15 for 31, 219, a touchdown, 2 picks. Montana, 23 for 27, nearly flawless, 268, 2 touchdowns. It was back and forth and all that. And the Niners won 23-18. The recap is that Teddy Bruschi didn't even play for the Pats. That was huge for them. But Joe Montana, 268 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and he ran for a touchdown. So all 3 touchdowns were his doing. Week 2 started on November the 16th. The games. The 89 Niners played on December 7th against the 77 Broncos, the Super Bowl 12 losers, and beat them 13-3 on home turf. Joey Montana, 11 for 25, 109 for a touchdown. Craig ran for 104. The new Hall of Famer, alongside Adam Vinatieri, Luke Kuechly, Drew Brees. Well, it's served for Drew Brees. And who was number 5? Can't remember. Anyway, Craig Borden, 10 for 27, 139. So Montana to Taylor was the only touchdown in the 4th quarter, so it was just a defensive battle. And the 33 Bears, I can find them. Where the heck are those guys? They took on their spiritual rivals, the 06 Bears, who lost in the Super Bowl 38-17 at Wrigley Field, as 6 guys were playing. Quarterback by committee, of course. Grossman, 5 for 16, 31 yards for 2 picks. Brian Greasy threw for a touchdown. Threw 2 interceptions, too. Devin Hester had the punt return, and the 06 Bears were up 10-3, but not for long. Sisk had a punt return for a touchdown. 38-17 recap there. Johnny Sisk was named player of the game for his punt return. Rosani, Corbett, and John Zones were not playing for the Bears that game. And 89 Niners recap. Smith out for Denver. Daniel Stubbs for his 6 tackles and 2 stripes or something. I don't know what that means. Week 3 started December 21st when we were down to 32 teams. The Bears played the 2002 Bucks January 4th, the team that won Super Bowl 37 thanks to their defense over Rich Gannon, 17-0 in Raymond James. Brad Johnson 20 for 41, 144, but he threw not 1, not 2, but 8 picks. The good news was that Johnson threw 8 picks. He didn't have one thrown for the. He didn't get a pick 6. Corbett to Hewitt for a touchdown, and then Nagurski ran for 1, 17-0. So yeah, 8 picks. Bromberg had 2. Grange, Sisk, Nagurski, Kopchka, Manders, and Corbett all had picks. The recap: Carl Brumbo was named player of the game for his 2 interceptions. No Johnsons, no Carlson. So Johnson's being injured really hurt the 33 Bears in a sense. The 89 Niners went to Pittsburgh to face the Super Bowl 40 champion Pittsburgh Steelers, 31-28. It was a close one. Steady snow at Heinz Field. Bausberger was 11 for 23, 182, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Montana, 19 for 30, 276, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Taylor had a 100-yard receiving game. It was actually quite close. Pittsburgh was up 28-21 after 3 quarters, but Kofor kicked a short field goal. The Steelers failed to tie the game. Joe Montana named player of the game, 3 touchdown passes, 1 rushing for all the touchdowns, and the Niners had no injuries. And then went to the Sweet 16. That saw the 2016 Falcons beat the 70 Colts. The 70 Cowboys survived the 0-1 Rams. The 33 Bears winning in overtime against the 68 Jets, Super Bowl III champs. Namath 12 for 32, 163, threw a touchdown, but he threw 4 interceptions. Fortunately for him, none were thrown back. Quarterback for the committee, David to Smower, touchdown. Greg Grange in the second quarter, touchdown. Nagurski made it 14-7. Boozer made it 14-14. No score till the overtime when Bronco Nagurski dove across the line for 2 yards and beat the Jets 20-14. And no Johnsons or Corbett for the Bears, but they still won. 73 Dolphins beat the 14 Seahawks. The 84 Niners survived the 86 Giants. 2007 Pats beat their 85 rivals. The 90 Giants survived the 66 Packers in a defensive battle, and the 89 Niners beat the 66 Chiefs, the Super Bowl I losers. Stevie Young, 16 for 19, 275, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Nice job by him. Taylor, 123 receiving. Bearhart was 13 for 20, 215 with 3 touchdowns. Len Dawson was 5 for 16, 74 yards. So, yeah, they went with Bearhart, and it almost worked. Yeah, it almost worked for them. 31-10. They got 2 touchdowns. Well, Bearhart had a Hail Mary to Taylor for a touchdown with no time left, but they still lost by 7. In the quarters, the 07 Pats crushed Matty Ice and the Falcons 45-20. The 89 Niners survived the 70 Cowboys 22-20 at the Cotton Bowl. Morden 15 for 41, 193, 2 touchdowns. The 70 Cowboys lost the Blunder Bowl Super Bowl 5. Ratso got a 100-yard receiving game. Montana 25 for 36, 236, 3 touchdowns. Kofor field goal, Morden the Hayes touchdown, Morden the Hayes, and the Montana Taylor. It was 17-9 Dallas. 17-15 after 3. Clark made a field goal, and then with 11 minutes left, Montana the race for a touchdown, 22-20, and no scoring after that. Montana was named player of the game for his 3 touchdowns. No Cliff Harris for Dallas. That ruined them, I think. The 33 Bears in a defensive battle against the Super Bowl 25 champion 90 Giants that went with Sims at pivot, 6 for 16, 104. Bears, of course, quarterback by committee. It was all field goals and all that. If you look at the drives, Giants twice went in the red zone. They missed a field goal and made a field goal. The Bears 3 times in the red zone, field goal, missed field goal. Johnny Sisk was the hero for his return job. Corbett was unavailable. John Sills was. And the Giants had to go with their kicker, Matt Barr, not Allegra. Didn't know they carried 2 kickers. And the 73 Dolphins crushed the 84 Niners. Semifinals, the 33 Bears win in the 4th quarter against the 73 Dolphins, Super Bowl VIII champions, thanks to a pass from Corbett to Hewitt, quarterback by committee. Greasy, 8 for 22, 77 yards, did not help his matters. Bill Hewitt was the hero, and everyone played. Meanwhile, the 89 Niners played a great semifinal against the 07 Pats. Brady, 27 for 41, 273, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. Montana, 24 for 34, 394, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Brett Jones had a 100-yard receiving game, not Rice. Oof. So yeah, the Niners, a lot of touchdowns and all that, 31-17. Fourth quarter was big. Eckler touchdown run, got the lead to 7. Montana to Taylor for 68 yards. Goskowski field goal. Brady the Falcon at 38-35. They went for 2 and got it. Clover kicked the field goal. Pats couldn't finish. Joe Montana again was named player of the game. I think he was player of the game every time. Henderson was unavailable for San Francisco. Willie Andrews, kick returner, was out for the Pats. So now we got ourselves the 33 Bears and the 89 Niners. Let's look at the teams. The Bears 6-0 in this tournament, playing only 2 games on the road. That was in Tampa and the Jets. So they had 2 at home, then 2 on the road, then 2 at home, and then they're playing at the Rogers Center. Because it's Toronto, it's my town. So they have done pretty well for themselves. They have given up only 40 points. They're 6th in points scored, 6th in total yards, 46th in passing yards, and 2nd in rushing. They only pass out of necessity, if you will. So George Howell is doing his job. You know, the past 2 games have been fair. The past 3 games have been close, 1 possession games. They've had 3 straight blowouts. Let's look at the stats. On offense, passing, well, you know, it's a quarterback by committee, 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Their opponents have only thrown 2 touchdowns against them. And the Bears have picked off 23 passes. Rushing, Nagurski 355, Grange 181, Molesworth 140. So 4 touchdowns for Bronco Nagurski, 1 for Grange, 1 for Nesbitt, 1 for Brumble. Receiving 6 touchdowns, 3 by Hewitt, 1 by Molesworth, 1 by Carr, and 1 by Seller. Defensively, look at all these stuff. Lots of interceptions. 23 interceptions, 4 each by Bronco and Brumble. 2 brought back. That was Molesworth and Nagurski in that one game. That's stuff. I guess that's stuff. Get all that. Special teams. Kicking, Manders 4 for 7 for field goals. And perfect in extra points. Punting, he's the punter 2. And all that. Scoring, well, Bronco Nagurski has the most points at 30 points of offense. Manders has 4 field goals and 15 point average, 27. So Bronco leads in points. So now we go to the Niners. The 89 Niners in real life were 14-2. They won that Super Bowl. They've only played 2 home games against Denver and Kansas City and basically been nomads. But they're the home team for this one. They've actually played, wow. The Niners have won every game by 10 or less. It was 5, 10, 3, 7, 2, 6. Wow. The Niners have been in every game has been close with the Niners. The Niners are 2nd in points, 2nd in total yards, 3rd in passing, 3rd in rushing. I don't know who has more points. I think the Pats do. I don't remember, but anyway, we'll check out all that stats later. Statistics on offense: Joe Montana, 67%, 1,283 yards, 14 touchdowns, 3 picks. Steve Young, 16 for 19, 3 touchdowns and a pick. So he's done quite well. Roger Craig, 372 rushing yards. Raffman 2nd, Montana 3rd. 3 touchdowns on the ground. 2 by Montana, 1 by Craig. Well, they have had 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Their opponents, 11 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. So San Fran's only picked off 8 passes. Receiving, Brett Jones has the most receptions. He has 5 touchdowns. John Taylor has 6. Jerry Rice only has 1 touchdown. Can you believe it? They basically know how to stop him. I mean, heck, even Terrence Flagler, 4 receptions in this tournament. He has 2 touchdowns. Defense, you see all that. Picks off 2 by Griffin, 1 by Lott, 1 by Keena Turner, and 4 by Eric Wright. He can't tackle, but he can throw. And no pick sixes. Special teams, Kofor, 8 for 11 on field goals, 17 for 18 on extra points. Barry Helton, a 39-yard average. Punting, and all that. And scoring, Kofor leads with 41 points. Taylor, 36. Brett Jones, 30. All right. So here we go. We're going to play this game. No interruptions. Every play is going to be there. Unless it's blood. Here we go. This is it. Molesworth is your pivot to start this game. Red Grange, Calvin Goes, Jack Manders, Blake Nesbitt in the backfield to start. Remember, these are to start. They're the rotation count. Lou Johnson's and Bill Hewitt are your receivers. Cool. Offense clean. Lineman, Seth Carlson, Key Miller, Joe Kopchak, George Russo are defensive line. Niners defensive line. Kevin Megan, Michael Carter, Chris Holtz. 4 linebackers, Charles Haley, Matt Millen, Keenan Turner, Mike Walter. Don Griffin, Chuck Brooks, Ronnie Lott, Daryl Fuller. I should talk about the more. Chris Holt, future Falcon, assigned to the Super Bowl. Charles Haley, future Cowboy. Matt Millen, former Raider. And Niners running line. Seven presence. Don Griffin, Ronnie Lott, the guy with the half of the chant. All right, Niners go first.
Tipping. Offense.
Roger Craig and Tom Rathman are your running backs. Especially Roger Craig, the newest member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Jerry Rice, Mike Wilson, Greg Jones, Australia receiver. Remember, they'll take them as well. Curtis Barton, Bruce Coley, Joseph Sapini, Guy McDermott, Bubba Harris, line. D-line, Bill Hewitt, Nick Lyman, Ricky Miller, Bill Carr, Michael Nagurski, Seth Carlson, Joe Kopchak. Your linebackers, Keith Bosman, Carl Grover, John Sisson, Brent Ranger, back in before 1960, it was common to see players play both offense and defense. Here we go. 2 and 10. Insist. That's in front of him. Taylor was Taylor. Third and 6. friend does not have Flagler or Henderson. That's actually huge for the Niners because Flagler has had a few injuries this year. For the third time, the Niners threw a pick. Unreal. Joe Montana is pedestrian. 4 yards to the ground. So the Bears threw a pick themselves.
Flag on the play.
Flagrant face mask. Defense. First down. First down. First down. First down.
Flag on the play.
Pass interference. Defense. First down. First down. First down.
Flag on the play.
Delay of game. Offense.
Niners 7, the 1989 Niners 3. Halftime, Montana 4 for 864 yards, 3 interceptions. Roger Craig, 39 yards running. Jerry Rice was receiving yards at 28. Ellsberg McPherson Manders, the combination 7 for 12 combined, 86 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Manders was that. Ellsberg 31 yards running. John Sills 30 yards receiving. Ellsberg to John Sills for a touchdown. Manders kept the extra point, and then Kofor kicked the field goal. Drives. Right now the Bears have had 15-40 time. The Niners 14-20. So 2 trips to the red zone for the Bears. They went for it. They went for the field goal on 1-1, but I mean, come on. You got to try to get 3 points. They missed. The Niners threw the interception back. Look at that. 5 possessions. They didn't have like a pass. The recap as of right now is Baltimore. Bears lead the Niners in passing, the net yards rushing. The Niners are out running the Bears, and the Bears won't lose the ball at half. 7 first downs each. Return yards. The Bears have it. The Niners have taken 0 penalties. The Bears have taken 4. The Niners have been sacked twice. The Bears have yet to be sacked. And 5 turnovers. The Bears have 4, and the Niners will the Bears. So we'll see what ends up happening. Let's kick off. And I did it for the halftime show. You know what's in 5 minutes. So let's just go. Here's my pen. Corbett gets the ball at 35, and Carl Rumford is going to come in and play with it. Honestly, I don't know why.
Flag on the play.
Holding.
Offense?
Offense.
Yep. 7 yards by Cornball. We're in trouble. And it will be 4th and 12. Nice tip. So the Bears will punt again. And the ball will be at the 18. Nice job by the Niners. Well, the Niners have to run the ball.
First down. First down. First down. First down.
Flag on the play.
Holding. Offense.
Yep.
First down.
Broncos got 2 yards. Back to the quarterback. 7-3, third and 10. We're down 3 quarters. Box score, Montana 8 for 28 yards, 6 incompletions, 4 of them were picks. 60-yard run to Craig. Rice leads with rushing receivers hard for the Bears. Doing their job running the ball. Ballsworth 31 yards, Monsters 30 yards. Still 7-3. This was the first quarter. 2 yards. And the Niners have dropped 30.
First down. First down.
City gets 4 yards. For the Raftman, it's now 36. 7-3. I think they're going to go for it. Yeah. Hofer, I don't think can get anything over 30 yards, so they're going to run. Range gets 4. They went for a pass to Johnson's, but Trny is left. Bears at 46. So the Bears force a fumble, but the Niners get back again.
Touchdown, Bears.
This could be the nail in the coffin. That's right.
The extra point is good.
Montana versus 5th interception of the day. The Bears are winning with interceptions in 5 games. They know it's coming. Was it 5 or 6? 6. So that's like 4.5 interceptions a game. The defense. Montana gets 5. It's 3-2. Craig gets 6. And he throws to Craig, but it hits an arm.
First down.
First down, 6.
Timeout, defense.
Denver left no timeout.
Defense.
39. Looking forward. Esmond will have to lead the game. The Bears will have to call timeout. So that's good news for the Niners. I need your timeout.
Flag on the play.
False start. Offense.
I'll start on the Bears. 49. That's they will get better field positions. Nice kick by Angles. 35 yards. Taylor sends for a catch me. That did not get caught. Bears defense plays hard as Montana can't do anything. The Bears can kneel down because the Niners can still call once. They won that 1930s tournament. They went through all that. They went 14-3. They win the championship. Red Grange is the MVP. Well, he deserves it. That pick 6 to ice the game, that has to be. They didn't even need him to run the ball, even though he's a good running back. So, the Niners, look at the Niners. They had more passing, rushing, net yards, and first downs than the Bears, but they still lost the game 14-3. Well, return yards, Bears had it. Penalties, 7 for the Bears. The Niners were perfectly clean on penalties. 0 penalties by the Niners. 0. How did you see a team take 0 penalties and still lose the game? Sacks, Niners were sacked all times. The Bears were not sacked. Turnovers, well, come on. I really think turnovers were a factor. 8 freaking turnovers by the San Francisco 49ers. ASA defense wins championship. And the 33 Bears lose. And the 89 Niners lose by 11. Bucks scored Montana 13 for 26, 118. 13 incompletions, just barely half of them were picks. 6 interceptions by the Bears. This team had 28 interceptions headed to today. And they hit up 6 times. Craig ran for 74 yards, not bad. Trey Rice 6 catches for 59 yards. The Bears passing attack went 7 for 15. 86 yards of catch on the pick. They didn't really run that well. They had the running back by committee, but they didn't have the big runs like the Niners did. Most the Johnsons for a touchdown, Cofer field goal in the second quarter, and then in the fourth quarter, Greens with the pick 6 off Montana for 62 yards. Looking at the team defenses, Greens with 2 picks, Mosford, Sisk, and the first game quarterback with 1 each. Greens had the pick 6. Ray Lytle with 1 interception. Defense, Sisk with 8 total tackles. Nagurski was 7, Kochka was 6. Sacks, they don't give the sacks. I don't know why they give the sacks. The Niners won with 5 tackles. They didn't have 5 yards. Special teams, Sisk. Anders kicking. He missed 1 field goal and he made 2 extra points. His punts 31 yards on average. Poster 1 for 1 field goal for 31 yards. Only points for the Niners. Elton 3 punts for 39 yards. So Niners only punted 3 times, but they threw the ball every time. See the team stats and all that. Yeah, the Niners can't believe it. They were better on 3rd downs and 4th downs, but they still lost the game because pretty sad. What do you expect? They had 4 fumbles. They recovered 2. Yeah, the Bears had 2 touchdowns. Drives, the Bears. Field goal for the 1, even though I know they should have ran the ball, but who knows what it would have. Touchdown. Okay. They got the touchdown. Hit, punt, 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 and a kick. So the Bears, their longest drive by yards is 33 yards. The Niners, their longest was 57. The Bears win by the possession, 31-28. Niners, kick, 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 field goal. Fumble and a half. Kick, fumble, punt, punt, pick 6, punt, 83 Chicago Bears win the Super Bowl winners, losers, and friends tournament. Let's take a look at the final stats. The 89 Niners, 6-1. Maybe the home team had lost. They finished second in points, first in total yards, third in passing, and third in rushing. But Montana threw too many interceptions. He threw 6 in one game. Montana had 3 interceptions thrown going into the game with the Bears, and he doubled that. He threw 6 interceptions. They should have put Steve Young in the game. But yeah, he lost it. Roger Craig, 446 rushing yards. The best passer by catches, 6 touchdown catches by John Taylor. Jerry Rice only caught 1 touchdown pass. It's hard to believe. Yeah, Terrence Flagler was hurt. Yeah, that hurt the most. Larry Roberts didn't play against the Semi Cowboys. And of course, the championship 33 Bears, 4th in points, 5th in total yards, 38th in passing, and they led in rushing yards. Well, you knew it too. Their offensive statistics, while passing, it was Molesworth, right? Yeah, he threw. Wait, he wasn't the one who threw the touchdown, wasn't it? No, it was. It was Mos. Okay, it was Molesworth. It was Molesworth. Yeah, it was Molesworth who threw his 3rd touchdown pass, breaking the tie with Corbett, who was 2 for 5, but his 2 completions were touchdowns. Running, yeah, Bronco 375. Bill Carr and Bill Hewitt were the only receivers to catch over 100 yards. John Sells made it 1 touchdown catch. Well, he was hurt for the first 3 games. Injuries and all that, yeah. A lot of people started at quarterback. Corbett missing 4 games due to injury out of 7. Rosanni missing 1. Yeah, Luke Johnson's missed the first 4 games, and they still produced. Sue Carlson missed the game against Tampa. Johnson's missed a lot of time. Yeah, he missed 4 games. What else was it? What was I looking for? Nothing much. All right. So that's that. Now let's take a look. Well, Keith Mosher was the offensive player of the week. Red Grange was the defensive guy, and Jack Manners was the special teams guy. So Joe Montana's 1,400 passing yards was third behind Matty Ice and Tom Brady. Rushing, Roger Craig ends up second behind Mercury Morris of the 73 Dolphins. Zonka of the 73 Dolphins stands up third. Receiving, Welker made 39 catches. Crushing everyone. Picks, Bronco Nagurski beats his teammates Bromberg and Sisk with 5 interceptions. Bill Stanfield and Andre Tippett with 6 sacks each. Points leader Stephen Gostkowski. Kickoff returns. Flagler would have probably beaten Ellis Hobbs, marked for kickoff returns if he was healthy. Johnny Sisk led in punt returns by a long shot over New England's Julian 808s. 808s. Look at some highlights. The high scoring play by team. Week 1, 85 Pats against 83 Raiders, scored 61 points on them. Eason, 13 for 23, 176, 3 touchdowns on a pick. Grogan, 1 pass, 1 touchdown. And that was to, I think, Morgan. Right. Yeah, that was to Morgan. Yeah. Weathers touchdown run, Eason to Fryer. Field goal, Eason to Jones. Fumble return by Ingram, Eason to Morgan. Field goal, Grogan to Morgan. Fumble return by Ferris and Franklin field goal. So 61 points. Second were the 07 Pats against the 2016 Falcons, 45-20, taking down Matty Ice in the quarterfinals. And the 02 Bucks week 1 against the 94 Chargers put up 42 points. Most by both teams combined. Week 3, the 01 Rams beating the 98 Broncos 42-39, a close one. Warner versus Elway didn't disappoint. Terrell with 100 plus running yards. Falk with 100 plus running yards. Holden Falk even put up 100 yards receiving. Bruce got 91. So the Rams almost had 300-yard receivers. Cadrez got a fumble return for a touchdown. Falk a long touchdown run. Terrell 60 yards run. Trailer had the fumble recovered for Broncos, but the Rams with a minute 33 left. Warner to Hakeem. Niners Pats from the semifinals, 41-35. That's how the 89ers get there with 76 points, second most. and the 85 Raiders for that 61-13 win. That was 74 points for third place. Just nipping out week 1, 99 Titans beating the 96 Packers 41-32. Fewest by both teams. 7 points by these 33 Bears against the 73 Dolphins in the semifinals. And then, well, their quarterfinal against the 90 Giants, they only scored 6-3. And the 66 Packers beating the 48 Eagles in week 3 was 7-3. So that was just amazing. Yeah, the Bears Falcons, 17 points. That tied for the 6th fewest points. See, that 86 Giants beating the 2014 Pats in week 3, 10-3. And the 89 Niners beating the 77 Broncos 13-3. Those were the only games that were lower scoring than the final. Most points by a kicker was Tony Franklin scoring 19 points, 7 points afters, and 4 field goals, beating the 83 Raiders week 1. Anna Venturi in week 1 for the 04 Pats scoring 5 field goals and a point after, and Stephen Hotchka, 4 field goals, 4 point afters against the 05 Seahawks, beating them 40-0, and Rel Allegra for the 86 Giants, 5 field goals and a point after. Most points non-kickers. Walter Payton had 4 touchdowns for the 85 Bears against the 2019 Texans, 35-20, and Mercury Morris had 4 rushing touchdowns against the 04 Eagles in week 2, winning 38-13. And a lot of people had 3 touchdowns. I just want to see if someone had 3 touchdowns. I guess not. 3 touchdowns without winning it. Passing yards, the most. Matty Ice, 478 in week 4 against the 70 Colts, 32-22. Drew Brees, week 1 against the 92 Bills, even though they lost, with 453. And Tom Brady, 430 for the 07 Pats, week 1 against the 93 Bills. Most touchdowns, Brady with a 6 touchdown day for the 07 Pats against the 2016 Falcons. Matty Ice, 5 touchdowns. Joe Montana for the 84 team against the 2016 Pats. And Joe Montana for the 89 Niners against the 07 Pats. Week 6, 5 touchdowns. Most interceptions, well, yeah, he threw for 6, but Brad Johnson threw for 8 against the 33 Bears, losing 17-0. Jim Kelly threw for 6 for the 90 Bills, week 2 against the 6-6 Packers and lost 24-10. Let's see, Brad Johnson threw 8 interceptions, but he did not have no pick sixes. Jim Kelly, did he? Well, there was 1 pick 6, Bob Jeter. That was it. And Joe Montana had 1 pick 6 to Mr. Bronco Nagurski. Beeline threw for 5 interceptions for the 2011 Giants against the 33 Bears. I think 2 were thrown back. And Zeke Bratkowski started for the 6-7 Packers week 1 against the 83 Skins for some reason and got 5 interceptions. I don't know why he was starter. Rushing yards, most in one game, goes to Corey Dillon, 178 for the 04 Pats against the 2020 Chiefs in week 1, winning the game 22-10, 178, but he didn't have a touchdown. Terrell Davis, 155 for the 98 Broncos in their loss to the 01 Rams, and Craig James, 143 for the 85 Pats, beating their 2017 rivals, 27-17, so he took third. Pete Johnson, Terrell Davis, Jim Brown was there too. Touchdowns, 4 by Mercury Morris in one game. Joseph Adai had 3 for the 06 Colts against the 2019 Chiefs. Ray Rice had 3. Furman Thomas had 3. Eddie George had 3. Larzanka had 3. Nice job. Receiving yards. Most receiving yards in one game goes to Jerry Rice, 186 for the 94 Niners against the 85 Pats, even though they lost in week 3, 19-14. Torrey Holt, 179 for the 01 Rams, beating the 2012 Colts. And Otis Taylor, 165 for the 6-6 Chiefs, beating the 85 Bears in a shocker. So he did his job. And receiving touchdowns, Tyler Higbee had 3 for the 2018 Rams against the 68 Colts, winning 21-16. All 3 touchdowns were his. Antonio Freeman, 3 touchdown catches for the 97 Packers against the 88 Bengals. Keenan McCardle, 3 touchdown catches for the 02 Bucks against the 94 Chargers. Julio Jones, 3 touchdowns for the 2016 Falcons against the 72 Dolphins. Heinz Ward, 3 touchdown catches for the 05 Steelers against the 2000 Ravens. Roy Jefferson, 3 touchdown catches against the 2016 Falcons in a loss. And Russ Welker, 3 touchdowns for the 07 Pats against the 2016 Falcons. Defense. Most interceptions, lots of people had 2 in one game and all that. Sacks, most sacks in one game. Josh Sweat had 3 for the 24 Eagles against the 08 Cardinals, winning 30-24. And Richard Dent for the 85 Bears, 3 sacks against Houston 2019 Texans, winning that game. and people had 2. Most field goals in one game. Adam Vinatieri had 5 for the 04 Pats in week 1. Week 2 for the 86 Giants, Raul Allegra had 5 each, and they were perfect. Punts, most punts in one game. I just want to see because I think Banners had a lot of punts. Joe Muha had 10 punts for the 48 Eagles, losing to the 6-6 Packers in that 7-3 game. And Rod Whitby, 10 for the 70 Cowboys against the 0-1 Rams, even though they won the games. So he had 10. Okay. Most yards. Most yards by kickoff return in one game. Desmond Howard, 205 for the 96 Packers against the 99 Titans. But nothing to show for it. They lost. Von Hebron, 176 for the 98 Broncos. They lost that game. And Terrence Wilkins for the 06 Colts when they lost to the 68 Jets. So, yeah, when you have kick returns, you lose the game. I wonder who had the most in a win. Nobody did. Punt return yards. Julian Edelman, 143 for the 2014 Pats against the 2017 Eagles when they won. Johnny Sisk, 127 against the 68 Jets in week 4. And then week 2, he had 121. Best plays. Longest passing yards was paid into Demetrius Thomas for the 2013 Broncos week 3 against 70 Colts, but that was not for a touchdown. Jeff Hostetler threw the longest touchdown, 78 yards to Stephen Baker in week 3 for the 90 Giants against the 71 Cowboys. Payton was second with that 70-yard bomb to Demetrius Thomas week 2 against the 83 Redskins, and Pete Hart, 70 yards to Otis Taylor week 4 against the 89 Niners, losing the game. That was with no time left. Rushing yards. The longest rush was 80 yards for Furman Thomas week 1 for the 90 Bills. Against the 81 Bengals when they won, Mercury Morris had 76 yards in a play against the 48 Browns, but didn't get the touchdown. Terrell Davis, 72 yards. Longest field goal was 55 by Ron Linewell of the 97 Packers, losing to the 2002 Bucks. Lawrence Tynes had a 54-yarder for the 07 Giants against the 08 Steelers in a loss, and 54 yards Matt Stover for the 2000 Ravens week 2, but they lost. Vinatieri had the longest field goal by a winner with 52, the game in which they won. Longest kick return was Willie Andrews, 97 yards for the 07 Pats, week 3 against the 77 Cowboys, winning 34-24. Terry Kirby had a 95-yarder for the 02 Raiders in week 1 against the 78 Steelers, which they won. Travis Williams, 94 yards for the 67 Packers in week 1 against the 83 Skins, which they lost. Mark Washington had a 93-yard touchdown kickoff return for the 70 Cowboys, beating the 01 Rams. And Dwayne Thomas for the 70 Cowboys against the 76 Raiders in week 1. Punt return. Longest punt return, 79 by Edelman for the 2014 Pats against the 2017 Eagles, winning 27-16. Mike Garrett had 1-2 for 79 yards for the 66 Chiefs week 2 against the 85 Bears, winning the game. And Devin Hester had a 75-yarder for the 06 Bears, although they lost to their cousins, the 33 Bears. And pickoff returns, because I know that Grange had one. Well, Grange had the 5th longest pick interception, the 4th longest pick 6. Corey Graham's 62-yard interception, but that was not for a touchdown. Grange had the 4th longest pick 6. Only Asante Samuel, who went nearly coast to coast against the 85 Pats. Aaron Kyle for the 78 Cowboys against the 99 Jags, and Nick Harper for the 06 Colts against the 68 Jets. Colts. So those and his 62 yards beats Russ Fitchner for 4th. So Grange's 62 yards, the 5th longest interception return, and that was the touchdown to win the game. That seal it. So that is it. There will be another NFL tournament coming up next week. We will do the Sunday stuff with second and 10 football. So stay tuned for that. We will have it by decades, just like the NCAA. We'll start the 30s, 40s tournament next time, and we'll have it'll be 16 teams. You have the NFL champs, 10 years, and then you're going to add some extra teams for proximity. So we'll see what happens. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.